I can still picture the moment with unsettling clarity, as if time slowed down just enough to carve it into my memory forever. It wasn't loud. It wasn't explosive. There was no fight, no raised voices, no slammed doors. In fact, if someone had walked past our living room at that moment, they might have thought everything was perfectly normal. We were sitting far apart on the couch, the kind of distance that sneaks into long marriages without announcing itself. The television was on but muted, casting flickering light across the walls. The house was quiet in that very specific way only married couples understand, where silence isn't uncomfortable, just weighted with years of shared history. He didn't look at me when he spoke. "I've been thinking about something for a long time," he said softly, his thumb circling the rim of his glass again and again. Without realizing it, I smiled. After 12 years of marriage, you learn that sentences like that can lead anywhere. Financial stress. Work problems. Family drama. Health scares. I had prepared myself for all of it. "What is it?" I asked calmly. He took a deep breath, slow and deliberate, like someone bracing themselves before stepping into freezing water. "I have a wish." That single word sent a ripple of unease through me. I turned toward him fully, studying his face. "A wish?" I repeated. He nodded, but his eyes stayed fixed on the floor. "I don't know how to say this without sounding selfish," he continued. "But I trust you. That's why I'm telling you." That should have been my first warning. Instead, I felt something else, something dangerously close to flattery. After years of routine, of school schedules, shared bills, and predictable evenings, being trusted with something heavy felt intimate. Special, even. "What kind of wish?" I asked gently. When he finally looked at me, I saw something unfamiliar in his eyes. It wasn't guilt. It wasn't excitement either. It was curiosity, cold, careful curiosity. "I want you to experience someone else." The words didn't hit me like a punch. They landed quietly, almost delicately. And yet, they spread through me like a fracture in glass, thin at first, then unstoppable. I let out a nervous laugh. "Just one." "You're joking," I said. "I'm not." My stomach tightened. "You want me to cheat on you?" I whispered. "No," he replied quickly, almost defensively. "Not cheat. Not lie. I want it to be honest. Something we talk about. Something open." I stared at him as if he had suddenly become someone I didn't recognize. "Why?" I asked. He hesitated, choosing his words carefully. "Because I love you," he said. "And because I don't believe desire just disappears because we're married. I don't want to own you." It sounded thoughtful. Almost noble. The kind of thing people say when they want to sound evolved. But underneath it, there was something darker, something I couldn't fully name at the time. "I don't want you to do anything you don't want to do," he added, reaching for my hand. "This is just a thought. Just a wish." A wish. We barely spoke after that. That night, I lay awake beside him, listening to his steady breathing, staring at the ceiling, wondering when exactly my life had quietly shifted without asking my permission. For days afterward, the conversation replayed in my mind like a broken record. At first, I was angry. Then confused. And then, much to my own surprise, curious. What did it say about me that the idea didn't completely repulse me? I loved my husband. I still do. But love and desire are not always the same thing, no matter how much we want them to be. And if I was being honest with myself, there was a part of me that missed feeling wanted in a way that was raw and reckless, not safe and familiar. He didn't bring it up again. Strangely, that made it worse. Weeks went by. Life continued as usual. Work, chores, parenting, but something invisible had lodged itself between us. Then one night, after dinner, after a glass of wine, after the kids had gone to sleep, he looked at me and said calmly, "You've been quiet lately." "So have you," I replied. He nodded. "Have you thought about what I said?" I should have ended it right there. I know that now. Instead, I said something that changed everything. I don't even know where I'd begin. His smile wasn't eager. It wasn't victorious. It was the smile of someone who had already predicted the outcome. "There's no rush," he said. "We can take it slow." And somehow, I found myself agreeing. Days turned into conversations. Conversations turned into boundaries. Boundaries turned into rules. No lies. No secrecy. No emotional attachment. Just experience. It felt organized. Controlled. Safe. That illusion didn't last. The man I eventually met wasn't a stranger, and that mattered more to me than I wanted to admit. He was a friend of a friend, someone I had spoken to casually before at gatherings. Someone who already knew I was married. That should have stopped me. Instead, it made it feel real. Grounded. Less like betrayal and more like a choice. The first time we met alone, it was supposed to be harmless. Just coffee. Just conversation. But the way he looked at me wasn't harmless at all. It was attentive. Present. Like he was seeing a version of me I had almost forgotten existed. When I got home, I told my husband everything. He listened carefully. Asked questions, not invasive ones, but thoughtful ones. "How did it make you feel?" he asked. I hesitated before answering. "Alive." He nodded slowly. "Then it's okay." That night, he held me closer than he had in years, and I convinced myself that this was working. That this strange arrangement was somehow strengthening us. The next time, there was a touch. Accidental. Lingering. I confessed immediately. My husband didn't get angry. He got quiet. "Did you enjoy it?" he asked. "Yes," I said. Silence. "Okay." I didn't realize until later how badly I needed him to say no. From there, the line blurred faster than I expected. The touches became intentional. The conversations deeper. The tension heavier. When I finally crossed the line, it wasn't dramatic. There were no tears. No overwhelming guilt. Just heat, breath, closeness, and afterward, an unsettling stillness. I went home and told my husband everything. Every detail he asked for. I watched his face closely, waiting for something. Pain, jealousy, regret. Instead, I saw satisfaction. And in that moment, the truth finally revealed itself. This had never been just about my freedom. It was about his. Control without touch. Ownership without presence. Watching without participating. I had fulfilled his wish. But in doing so, I had awakened something in both of us that could never be undone. That night, lying beside him in the dark, I understood too late. Some lines, once crossed with permission, are more destructive than betrayal itself.